Okay. Why not? Even Tifa Lockhart has removal. My thumb keeps cracking. Alright. Doesn't look like anything special so far, just generic green nonsense. Oh, come on. Really? Come on! Come on, bro! I don't get it. Come on! Come on, this is just like the dirtiest turn. Come on! Okay. Yeah. Alright, we're here with Vivi. 3 mana 0/3. It's a wizard. It has an ability that creates a bunch of mana equal to its power, and it grows every time you cast a non-creature spell. And also pokes your opponent. So, this mana it generates, it's like Vadric or Valdric, right? Where like the day-night cycle and it grows and then discounts your spells. It's kind of like that, except you can do this probably vastly more consistently, I think. And you can use this mana to cast anything. I'm not really sure why. But you can cast Ulamog. Like, I think there's probably a way to play a deck with a ton of 1 and 2 mana spells, and then you cast Ulamog Emrakul and win the game. So, like, a bunch of protection spells, a bunch of bounce spells, early counter spells, all that stuff. Maybe some burn spells. And then you just rack up all the counters, and you could even fling this. You could just fling it at your opponent's face after you cast, like, Emrakul or something, some Eldrazi, giant spell. I mean, it doesn't have to be an Eldrazi, I'm just thinking something funny. So, it is weird. You could play this with a bunch of artifacts, and then the artifacts give it counters, and then you can use the mana to cast more artifacts, and then you have Eldrazi again. So, there's, like, I don't know, this is really weird to me, that it doesn't restrict the mana to instants and sorceries, but that means there's like 5 different ways to play it. What I'm doing is probably the most straightforward upfront thing, which is probably the closest to Valdric, which is casting big, expensive instants and sorceries. We got new cards like Cryptic Command, which is not a mythic rare, thankfully, so I can actually get my hands on it. And I think that's the only new one. Oh, there's this thing. It makes like a wizard. It's also a land. I mean, another wizard poking my opponent from 1 is whatever, but it's an instant and is also a land. So it casts a spell, it triggers this, and all that. There was 15 versions of this card in the deck at one point, but the problem was I didn't have room for them if I wanted to also do other things, and I had to make room. There's, like I said, probably 150,000 cards you could play with this commander. So I gotta figure out the right set of cards here. This I crafted, and I didn't craft it for my commander. I kind of crafted it for Snapcaster Mage because that seems like the most depressing thing to play against, and it's not too difficult to accomplish that if you have like pseudo infinite mana with this thing, just racking up the mana. We were looking at other cards like is it Wizard Shaman? It is. I did it. This triggers your commander twice, but I was thinking that if you play stuff like this, then you could just play a spell in this slot and not a 2-mana sorcery speed card, and then that spell just grows your commander and also might affect the board more relevant than just playing this random thing, because we don't really care about the prowess. But if you double your counters I just feel like I would rather cast a spell here. I do have a card in here that probably doesn't make a lot of sense in the form of God Eternal Kefnet, but randomly it can just hit a very powerful spell that annihilates your opponent, and maybe doubling up on that spell is too much, but look, I want to play it. You never get to play this card, so I'm going to try it. So if we do have a ton of counters from casting a spell, I should say you can only generate the mana once each turn, but you can cast a bunch of big spells, right? So we have the X spells, all that typical jazz and whatnot. Invert lets you flip your commander's power and toughness, so this is essentially Dark Ritual, right? I think it's even better than Dark Ritual, because it can put a counter on your commander and then flip it. Or I guess it doesn't matter when the counter gets applied, but yeah, so the invert side is interesting, and invent is actually also interesting. So both sides I like, and yep, so that's what we're doing. Let's see what happens. Yeah, expropriate is also a viable option for sure. Probably. Goblin Engineer. Let's not play against that. Alright, I'm just going to Windmill Slam my commander. If it dies, it probably took my opponent's whole turn to deal with it. And if it doesn't, we just basically win the game. That's not true, but yeah. Like I said, it takes my whole opponent's turn to deal with it, and if they don't, they kind of just lose. I think that's worth doing. Let's play this and pass. Opponent's very likely to do the same thing. Oh, no, I guess not. That's odd. What? Okay. You. Yep. Alright, let's play that and pass. Seasoned Pyromancer. That is somewhat annoying. Lightning Bolt. This is a 4/4, right? Alright. Well, the protection spells... Well, they would have saved us if they gave +1/+1. Opponent discards Path and Gristlebrand. So, Commander and pass. Actually, maybe I should cast Curiosity. So, blue, blue. This thing. This is kind of disgusting. Well, that was just absolutely disgusting. Should I swing? Yeah, it doesn't have to tap to do its thing, and they're probably just going to block and sack a token or whatever, so yeah. Oh, they didn't sack it. Chat, they didn't sack it. I have not looked at Quistishiburber. Alright. Yep, I just... Feels ideal. What do we... It's lamb, okay. I guess I just get an island? Yep. Yep. Well, they have to play a mana source. My opponent just didn't play a mana source. That's insane. Let's punish that. Yeah, let's punish that. Okay. My opponent must have kept this because of removal spam. Otherwise, this makes literally no sense. I cannot... One counter, two... Okay. I was wrong. I thought I could protect my commander, but I could not. I was wrong. I think I want an island. I don't really have anything to do. I'll try this, I guess. Feels like it doesn't have much going on, though. Nope. On the play with the best card in the game. Let's remove it with one of the best top decks, which is a red source. Alright, the game is playable again. Look at that. We did it. Could have played Jawari Disruption there. I don't think I'm going to counter something this turn. Yeah, I could have just played this, maybe. Who knows? I'm not going to bounce... Actually, maybe I should bounce this. Well, it worked. Okay. Do we have a counterspell? No. Do we have a burn spell? This is the first turn with red mana. It's kind of looking like a yes. Oh, maybe not. Okay, we're the ignore everything and do ramp stuff kind of deck. So now, do we have... Uncounterable? Nope. We do not. I will commit this. I'm not playing around anything. Sure. Swing. They make a 4/4? Okay, can I do anything about that? Shove Aside is an instant, so I guess that works. And I should just use this mana, because I'm not going to use it for the rest of the turn. Alright. Well, if Shove Aside was not an instant, this game would be different. This game would be different from here on forward, here on out. But it's an instant, so... Yeah, this is a spot where mana drain doesn't really matter. Oh, maybe it does. I don't know why they're manually tapping, though. They also did not use Arena for this. I don't know why. They just didn't exert their Arena. It's very strange. Do I need to do this? 1, 2, 3, 7. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. It's the old ignore your opponent, cast rant spell stuff, just like every time I've played against this, it's actually had this card. It's kind of funny. That is kind of funny. I played against it 4 times so far, and all 4 games they've had that card. I think there's like 3 copies of it. They just happen to keep getting this single, like that one copy of it. Alright, so I can play Brawl. If it dies, we're actually not too upset. If it does live, we're also not upset, so. What does that do? 1 or more creatures die. Okay. Oh look, they have the infinite card engine. Look at that. They have the... I have infinite card fodder now. The infinite fodder card. But Brawl lived, so I think my opponent's kind of screwed without this, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to sacrifice Brawl. I think it's still up to my opponent to kill it. So, can you win without your commander? Yeah, you can link your deck. I don't know when I'll get around to looking at it, though. Okay. What does this do? When it attacks, exile a card in a graveyard. Alright. That's fine, I guess. I don't care if my commander dies, so we can play it. And I will not brainstorm. The perfect answer for Thoughtseize. Let's put these away and lose Remand. Correct. Now, my graveyard doesn't matter. Should play red source? Blue? No, I think I actually want more blue in play. Yep. And I don't think I need my commander. Could have played my commander, but I don't think I need to. Not sure what it's even doing. And maybe I should have. I don't know. It's hard to tell. What does this do? Returns the graveyard skeleton. Non-skeleton creature died. Alright. So, Xander's Wake is a dumb card and will generate infinite value, but maybe we can compete with it. Yep. It can't generate removal. Well, it ended up being the right thing to not play my commander, it would seem. Because my opponent has nothing but removal. Removal, 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 removal. Asylum seat visitor, alright. I was about to say asylum seeker. That's funny. Sure. Nope. They play it right when they can run out of cards. Amazing. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can cast this. I suppose I will not cast it. And I don't want to take more damage. Maybe I should just play this untapped land and pass. This is randomly generated, right? Yep, of course it was. Really? You have nothing? Okay. I mean, I'll take it, but that's pretty nuts. Mana drain is not necessary. So, tapped land. Let's cast Curiosity first. Tap land. Add red. Expansion explosion for 1 to kill the asylum thing? No, I don't have to kill it right now. I don't have to kill it right now. What I should do is still cast this. And then get rid of these two. Actually, maybe I should keep that. Just get rid of that. I did find a land, kind of tragic. Okay. We counter anything? Basically have Niv Mizzet in play. Is Shove Aside castable? I don't think Shove Aside is castable. No. So here and here, take 3? Ooh, maybe here. There's no Xander's Wake card that does anything super spooky this turn cycle. Oh, never mind. Oh, look at that. We are literally getting soloed by randomly generated cards. 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4. Tapping things doesn't matter. Well, I used a minute early because I'm going to pass the turn with the rest of it. Alright. Alright. I guess I'll keep this. Stealing Ujin doesn't actually accomplish that much, but I will say it is kind of funny. Also, it's not on the play. I will say that's notable. I might genuinely make a treasure token. I don't know if I'm going to cast this reasonably. Yeah, let's just make a treasure token. I do like the Final Fantasy basic lands. They're neat. And pass. Two and a 4. Same thing, yep. Same exact thing. Well, we're doing the old smooth brain strategy. Let's do this. If we do this and we don't hit a land, we lose the game. So I guess I can't afford to do it. Alright, chat. One time. One time. Figures. Just needed it one time. I have literally never rolled good on that card. Chat, we get to go again. But now maybe I shouldn't. No, I shouldn't now. Okay, so again, I'm interested in leaving up mana on my opponent's turn, so... One, two, three... Unless I find an extra turn, then I am actually close to just straight up winning. Why would I? Take that and that. Let's... I think I can just cast Snapcaster Mage and phase out my commander instead of trying to counter their thing. Because they're dead next turn anyways. Yeah, I don't think anything matters. They go to 13 and then we just win. So... Did we have Solve Extra Turn? Oh my goodness, we might have actually had Solve Extra Turn. That's funny. Fortunately, it doesn't matter, but that is funny. I didn't see that. I got caught up in the free giant 8-mana card. I got caught up. Chat, I think I just threw this game. I think I just completely and utterly threw this game. I think I threw the game. Alright, one time. And of course they have a Warping Will, yep. I don't think I'm gonna play this commander again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. What are you doing? What? Okay. Wait a minute. That just kills them. You can't use this. I feel like they just gave me my clock. By all means, opponent, you play with the One Ring. I'm pretty sure that's going to kill my opponent before... Like, I can actually play a 9-turn game. They'll just die 1 damage a turn. Unless they have a way to gain life. That doesn't do it. Oh, they have some life here. So there is some life, but I think I could just beat the One Ring. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm in a position where everything's just kind of a nightmare for my opponent, so let's, Yep. I could just simply... No. No. Play that. Can cycle the extra turn, can just pass. I think I pass? Or I could cast this, actually. Yeah, let's cast this. I'll keep that. Alright, well, Lightning Bolt is 3 less life to play with. What the heck is Awu? You have me at a disadvantage. So, pass the turn again? Take an extra turn? Take an extra turn? Maybe that's just fine. I definitely could have won this sooner, but I think we're still going to win this game. I don't know if my opponent can really do anything. Sure. Does that have lifelink? No, it just says trample. Okay. Do you give me the One Ring? That'd be funny. Yeah. I don't know where people are getting these, like, dream scenarios where these jank cards come up and matter. Because clearly it's not with me. What is this? It's Chatterfang. I thought it was Azusa. Wait, it's Chatterfang. Okay. It's just straight up Chatterfang. It's Chatterfang with no mana source on turn 1. That's interesting. I wonder what they kept. Well, it doesn't have to be a game changer, just using the village in general is very strong. You just have to use the village, which costs 2 mana. Makes your spell cost more mana. I'm kind of just... I mean, our hand... We really just need to cast this, right? Like, yeah, we just need to cast this. I'm pretty sure we've learned our lesson that at no point in any game ever we can pass the turn with no untapped mana, so... I'm kind of over it. Let's see if it worked. It did. Oh, they might have a second removal spell, though. Oh, no. Yep, so, there you go. Can't pass the turn untapped. as we see here. Yeah, it was on the draw. That's funny. Alright, so blue and red, because I'm leaving up 3 steps ahead, we cast this here. And I don't care about Scavenging Ooze, so we kill the mana, because a 1 mana 1/1 is stronger than a 2 mana 10/10. Because this is Historic Brawl. And swing, yep. Look at that. A sound thrashing, all because we untapped with it. Well, if it was, it was. Looks like our opponent has Mox Amber, or Chrome Mox. Memory Deluge is fine in the graveyard, I think. Might be hard to find a window to just cast it. If I cast this and they go for their commander, I don't know if I lose, but I certainly come close to losing. I'm still interested in doing this, though. I'm curious if they're willing to give me my commander. No, I didn't think so. Okay, so if they had either Chrome Mox or Mox Amber, there is the village, but this isn't going to come up when it matters, right? Because it's just way too much mana for the early game for them to make their commander uncounterable. By the time they do that, we're probably doing pretty crazy things here. And it was either Chrome Mox or Mox Amber. The fact that they didn't just cast Chrome Mox here probably means it's Mox Amber. And yep, all right. I don't think they might not be ready for a draw go game like we can probably do, especially with Counterspell Snapcaster. Or my opponent just didn't draw land, and Magic is fundamentally flawed as a game. One of the two. One of the two scenarios. I'm banking on it being the interesting one. That's what we're banking on. I guess we get rid of Magma Opus. Kind of sad, really, to do that. But I probably should, so... If I'm gonna play the game, it probably looks like this. That's a seething landscape. That's just a straight up seething landscape. Wow. Alright, that's nuts. Oh, look. Actually beside myself. So, kill my own commander probably on my opponent's turn? Recast it or something? Doesn't even seem like that makes sense, so... Okay. Oh, yes. Very useful. Bouncing Witness Protection does not seem productive, but I don't know. Okay. I can't bounce Vivi, can I? I thought it had to be your... Oh, no, I guess I can. Never mind. I thought you had to bounce the opponent... something your opponent controls. Oh, I can't cast it. No, I thought I could cast it. Alright. It's not blue. I can't cast it. I mean, I'm still doing what I did there. I'm not going to change that. No way, more perfect answers. Unbelievable. I mean, their whole deck is perfect answers, so I don't think that's surprising. But they are playing weird cards, so maybe there's a chance. We're definitely seeing weird stuff here. That is also weird. Everything my opponent has done so far is a bit weird. Didn't they already... Oh, I thought they played that land last turn. Oh, never mind. Besage you as opponents only? Okay. Well, I can't really block, so I guess I'm not going to do that. Oh, no way. Another one. Wow. That's also a weird card. Okay. So, do this up front. It's not very likely to hit anything terribly exciting, so yeah, I'm just gonna use the mana now. How the games are going so far? Not great. Not great. It keeps dying, no matter how many protection spells I play. I also now can't swing because they have a, they have that in the play, which is tragic. Alright, I don't like my spot here, but, I mean, I'm out of stuff, so did the best I could. Okay, they're swinging with the 2/2 with Death Touch. Probably doesn't actually matter. No. Alright, can we please seek something that doesn't kill my commander? That would be great. Looks like that is sort of the case. Okay. We can discard a card, right? We don't need this land for any reason. Unless I draw, like, specifically treasure. Or I just draw Stone Cold Nothing. That works too. That's always fun. I should play it. Should play it. I know it gives my opponent information, but it is what it is. Because otherwise I just discard it to their commander. Alright, they swung last time with the 2/2, and this time they don't. Kind of weird. I feel like I would have never swung with this. I don't think I have any viable outs. I'm not even sure I do. Okay, that certainly is not great, but I guess it gets me somewhere? Kind of? That also sort of gets me somewhere. That does not. Okay, well, this is obviously better, right? Yep. Could play this fur, you know. Okay. Shove aside. No, I don't like these. Okay. I'm not sure what I'm looking for. I really don't know what I'm even looking for here. Definitely not lands. Do I have a shuffle? I do not have a shuffle. Also, something exploded outside. So we have to do this now. Like that. Okay. No, 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 no. Don't be weird. Four, five, six, seven, eight. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. It's 9. Chat. I triple checked. I triple checked, chat. I did, I swear. You saw me triple check. Alright. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. So now we have to, like, pass the turn. Shove aside. Oh my, I can't believe I did that. Wow. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, I could have played a land. You're right. You said it too late though. It's too late. Hold on. Hold on. We can just swing. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that. I just can't believe that. I mean, this is why your opponent spams removal on it. Strike it, Rich? I guess. Maybe better than Ragavan. You know, maybe it's better than Ragavan. No way. The one drop. The one drop. This is a card that works with my stuff. Oh, right. 5 colors. I keep forgetting it. I always think it's 2. Alright, is this a mana game, mana drain, I win the game kind of scenario? Let us find out. Oh, maybe. Maybe? Oh, no, they didn't concede. The game goes on. Yep. I'm just not ever not doing this, so. I don't have a protection spell. I don't have it, but my opponent doesn't seem to have. I'm not even gonna block. I'm literally not even gonna block. Okay. Alright. We actually get to play the game, chat. We actually get to play the game. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now it's a matter of what do I actually do now that I can play the game. I think I make a treasure and shock something. Treasure, 2 damage to this one. Let's do that. And I'm gonna leave up Remand because I'm still frightened at the prospect of losing my commander. I don't know why they're obsessed with this dying, but I'm still not going to block it. Maybe it's Lightning Bolt. Maybe just have Lightning Bolt. Nope. Brawl is fine, I guess. It's not great, though. But it's okay. Oh, wait a minute. They didn't have a 1-drop. Whoa. Chat, they just didn't have a 1-drop. How do you not have a 1-drop? What are you doing? What is happening? What is happening? A tapped land? Okay. This is not the most optimal list in my opinion, but sure, I don't think you should have ever... I think my opponent kept a hand based off of removal, so maybe that's what's going on here. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting. I'm not gonna do this. Okay, now I kind of wish I did do that. Oh well. Maybe it's just blue-black control and this doesn't do anything? You were texting while driving? Might not want to do that. I feel like I would genuinely Tails End this Prismatic Vista, if given the chance. I think I actually will genuinely Tails End Prismatic Vista. Probably get rid of Windfall. I don't think they're gonna crack it, though. Nope. Yeah, they're leaving up a 2-mana removal spell, at the very least. Could be a 1-mana one now, but that's what we know of. So, I feel like I should cast this now. Probably play it off the mountain? Does that... No, that doesn't change anything. Let's do... this. And I cannot utilize... I want to use the colorless mana, so yeah, we're gonna send this card here. Slip is a little too late, but I don't need... Actually, maybe it is too late. Yeah, let's just take a land. And we could play Snapcaster, which wouldn't do anything. So let's go ahead and not do that. They still have that removal spell, but now they have to cast it on their own turn, and probably not doing much else. My opponent's deck list is banana sandwich here. Can I cast my commander again? Something's telling me I cannot, so I guess I'm not doing that. Should I play Tome? No. What is my opponent playing? They missed the mulligan button? Yeah. Well, so far, they have not missed the mulligan button because they're not playing... This is... None of this is Eureka. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. This is very strange. That's probably worth fighting over. But I'm not upset if I don't win the counterfight there. Kind of expect to, though. I don't think they have left up many windows for counter magic and whatnot. Oh, okay, maybe there is something. Alright, it's probably a terrible time to mana drain, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So... this is a problem, and it's a problem I don't have a clean answer to. This is incredibly annoying. Alright, we're gonna spin the wheel. Okay, does that change anything? No shot fog is actually good here. No shot. Fog is actually good here. That's insane. Why didn't you just cast it? What are you doing? What is happening? Okay, so now they get to do it. Now they just do it, but now I'm just less concerned about it? I don't get it. Like, you can ninjutsu now. Mm-hmm. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Was like... Okay. I don't know. I don't know how to take that, but okay. Fog can actually do something here, which is kind of crazy. What are you doing? Oh, okay. I mean, still, I don't know, bro. I'm trying to ninjutsu this. Bro, I'm just trying to ninjutsu. Man's out here just sending it. Just sending it. I mean, it makes sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm not saying that. It just, it's a little weird to me to do what they're doing. Okay, so let's see if Fog resolves. If it does, we're happy. If it doesn't, we're almost guaranteed to lose a game. Okay, randomly generated Fog for the win. Would actually be a substantial reason I won the game if that does end up working. Okay, well, I should lead with this. I should absolutely lead with this. Yeah, they put 4 triggers on the stack, and then they would otherworldly gaze if it worked. Okay, I'm actually kind of upset they didn't react to that. They would have killed this by now. They would have killed my commander, so I'm gonna give it the old double strike. There's no guarantee I win, so I'm not pushing this. Chat, I miss lethal. They're 12. I miss lethal. I got too fixated. Chat, help. I'm sorry. Why do you watch me? There's better streamers. I can't believe I did that. I just missed lethal. This is the second time I've just straight up missed lethal playing this deck. Although, to be fair, last time I did it, I still won. There's a very good chance I still win here, but we'll see. That was definitely just completely missed lethal. I didn't... It was just 12 alone with the commander. Alright, so after all that, they now decide to remove priority hostage. Nice. Love to see it. They mill all 3 cards. Big and true. I draw not much of consequence. Let's do this. Yep. Okay. And we found lethal. Alright, we found it. We found it. Okay, just like last time, I didn't kill my opponent outright, but it's... I don't think that works out too well. Also, this land has been kind of a disappointment. Not gonna lie to you. What is this? Lightning, army of 1, 3-minute 3-2. Combat damage until end of turn, blah 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 blah. Blah blah blee blee blue. Do we Faithless Looting? Feels kind of weird to Faithless Looting here. I think I'm Faithless Looting. Faithless Looting. You could get rid of a land, actually. Sure, why not? We're not here to think. Until source deal damage, permanent... Okay. Faithless Looting again? Sure. Opponent's leaving up Lightning Bolt. You and probably River's Rebuke is not terribly exciting here, so... Yeah, it's definitely Lightning Bolt or something. Or, it's likely to be. Oh, that makes me want to leave it up. No, I can't. Enters, you may pay. Blues... Nope, can't do it. Alright, 1 red source, 1 removal spell. Please. I will not block. I don't care about any of that. Okay, so I take 4? Okay. I mean, now Lightning Bolt would like to go face, and not on my commander, but it... Okay. No. Well, without the protection spell, we would have just lost in the spot. So that's pretty cool. Their commander's unblockable, so the damage is not over. Let's cast this, and I think I'm gonna... Do I move this here? How do I leave up Counterspell? I don't think I can. I don't think I can leave up Counterspell, chat, so we just gotta hope my opponent can't kill me. Yep. Yep. I might actually cast Invent here at some point. Memory Deluge is solid. I think I can probably get away with that one. A land is fine as well. I could still cast this, actually. Still can't leave up Counterspell. So... invert. I don't think we're done here. I don't think we're done. I don't think our turn is over. Let's do 1 red. Maybe 2 red, actually. I guess it's just 1 red. Not terribly useful. This is fine. Okay. Volcanic Spite kills Skrelv. They have to name blue if they're paying attention. They didn't name blue. They should have named blue there for sure. That would have been the right idea. In my humble onions. Okay. And we do not swing because hexproof is priceless. So, it's also a giant, annoying blocker. There's no edicts. There's most assuredly no board wipes. Yep. They're just going to get completely stonewalled by this. They can't have unblockable anymore. And yeah, so I almost passed the turn, but we found a line that let us deal with the unblockable nature of things. I think we're done. I think this has reached its conclusion. Yeah, I think this commander for me has sort of reached its conclusion. I've said in the beginning that this probably has 5 or... Okay, maybe not 5 or 6, but let's say 3 to 5 maybe different ways of playing it, because the mana it generates doesn't... It's not stuck to instants and sorceries. So Eldrazi's on the table. There's combo stuff. There's definitely combo stuff you can do. There's one issue, and it is a massive issue. I keep calling it perfect removal, but I should stop using the word perfect, because it's not perfect. Most opponents are going to have it, right? Most opponents are going to have it. When I complain, I say the word perfect. Oh, they have the perfect removal spell. It's like, yeah, but they probably have like 25,000 in their deck, so it just feels bad that they have it, and you're just sitting there like, and you don't know about the other ones they could have and all that. And they probably have more than one, and they do have more than one. So I'm talking about removal right now because that is by far the most relevant thing to this commander. And that's not new to like the blue-red commanders that sit there and you have to pass the turn, and you don't have a lot of recourse if it dies because your counterspells are tapped, because you had to spend your mana to cast your commander, blah, blah, blah. So there is a serious and a rather massive argument that this is probably not a 3-mana commander. In all fairness, I did not see Chrome Mox and Mox Amber that much. A little unlucky with these 2 cards. I didn't get to see them that much. But I ended up taking out all the 1-mana protection spells because I'm like, well, they get in the way of actually casting anything that's important that I would like to have with my commander. However, you're not untapping with your commander. Period. It's not happening. I played against every single color and I mean, it was Tifa Lockhart. There was a Tifa player who killed my commander. Probably with the only card in the deck that does it. I don't think they play fight effects other than Archdruid's Charm, and they just Archdruid's Charmed me. Like, this commander died almost every game, including the games I won. I think a fair amount of them it died. I don't know. We'll see. I can't remember every game off the top of my head, but every single game, removal was the only thing that had sort of... It was really the biggest and most influential thing in any game, against every commander. It doesn't matter what the commander was. Removal was the only thing that mattered. Even like it was the Nissa. There was a Nissa opponent who played Nissa instead of Azusa. The 3-mana Nissa with the landfall Lotus Cobra thing. They played that. Played like 20 mana worth of things, or like 10 mana worth of things on turn like 4, and also killed my commander. Like, oh, they did all this stuff. They did all that stuff. They did all that stuff. Kill my commander, and then I lose. Like, I could maybe do something if it got back to me, and I could proceed to then do anything with my commander, putting counters on it, making it giant as an annoying blocker, or, you know, generating a bajillion mana. Doesn't matter. It just dies. Died. So much. It is... Because of that, I think it's just bad. I think this commander is just not good. It is an incredibly scary commander if you untap with it. It can win if you untap with it. It's not super common. If you want a commander that can win when you untap with it, I would probably recommend Rowan, which we played not that long ago. This is sort of the same thing. You play it. If it dies, you have to try again later. I would say this can recover. This can actually recover if your 3-mana commander dies and you're like, oh, I untap with it, time to go crazy deck. Whereas this has a far more difficult time recovering in a scenario where, like, oh, it blew up and I'm untapping on turn 4. Can I recover? Probably not. Brawl is a way, like, there's a Brawl game plan with counterspell spam. If you take out a ton of counterspells right? If you take out all the counters in this deck and you add combo cards or you add payoff cards, so VV has something to do when VV is large, then okay, that's great. You have all the things you need to win the game when you untap with your commander. None of that matters because you're not untapping with your commander. So you need protection spells. I don't like Swiftfoot Boots. If your, I think I said this earlier, if your commander needs Swiftfoot Boots to function, your commander is not good. So you need this to sort of function. I don't know if Valdric... I don't know how to spell it. Okay, there's no L. Vadric? I thought it was Valdric. I don't know if Vadric is better. It doesn't demand, quote-unquote, that you play spells to grow it. So it does a decent job at sort of keeping itself alive on its own. However, you're still in a position where, like, you need to protect it a lot of the time. And it its first initial discount of 1 doesn't let you cast a colorless protection spell. So it's kind of in the same boat, honestly. It kind of is in the same boat, and I feel like it is. There's another one that does the same thing. I think it involves discarding. There it is. It's a wizard. Alright. Okay, it looks like a witch, but I guess it's just a wizard canonically, whatever. So this kind of has the same thing going on. Right, you've got this thing you play. Actually, it's almost identical. 0/3, 3 mana, blue-red commander. You play it, it will probably die. These are incredibly powerful. I would argue probably some of the most powerful things you can do in the format is this. This is probably one of the strongest text boxes in the game. I would probably argue that. At least top 10. Top 10 in terms of strategy. If we pool this together with Vadric and that other wizard I was just looking at, whose name I don't recall. So it's an incredibly intimidating thing. And like I said, there's a ton of different ways to exploit all that mana and making this large. You can fling it. You can cast Eldrazi. You can take infinite turns. You can do whatever. You can combo. You can probably even storm off. You can play 1,000-Year Storm. I mean, I guess that's like a plan B, but all of that doesn't matter because this dies every game. So you need protection spells. So it's either a 4-mana commander spell, 4-mana spell, and you leave up a protection spell every single game, or you just windmill slam it. If your opponent kills it, I probably recommend moving on. There were not too many scenarios where I was able to cast it a second time and then proceed to have it matter, right? Maybe I was going to win anyways or lose anyways after the second time, but probably not worth staying in the game if it dies. So you probably have to play all the protection spells, which nerfs your deck quite substantially. The thing keeping this text box in line is the fact that this is extremely vulnerable. There's ways to give it flash, I guess. I think there's like 1 or 2. I think it's a land or something. Gives it flash. The uncounterable lands with the village land, it doesn't come up at a point in which it matters, so I don't like it. It's also just not as good as Cavernous Souls. Like, you would just play this instead, obviously. You could play both, but the village is not worth it. If it came in untapped, then, you know, excellent, but no, it doesn't. So I don't like the village here. I think it can come in untapped, actually. I mean, I'm saying that as if we don't have mountains in our deck. Right, it's mountains or forest? Yeah, it's mountains or forests. And we have mountains. I believe the 2 or 3 games in which it was in my deck, it always entered tapped. You could probably add some more dual-colored mountains, but then you have those entering tapped, just so this isn't, and this isn't useful early. So your early turns, especially like turns 2 and 3, you don't like your tap land, so if you play at turn 1, cool. I still don't think you're going to get value out of it, and you're slightly more vulnerable to Blood Moon and Winter Moon now that you've played this. Not something to truly consider, but, you know, there's just a side side thing to think about why I would also maybe not play it. This thing, Bouncing Snapcaster, never came up. I think this is probably free enough, but you don't need this. It never came up. There was one game, I think maybe two, where it could have come up, but I was already winning by so much, I didn't need Snapcaster again to win the game in this scenario, which I had both of those cards in the same game. But you're not really ever bouncing this. If we have more wizards, I guess, I'm sure there's a reason to play this. I think there's other commanders that like to enter and come in and out of play more. There's that blue one, Darren. I think it's Darren. Likes to enter over and over as a mono blue wizard, but I can't remember the name of it. So yeah, you need protection spells, and you need a mountain of them. But if you do untap, you have a chance of winning if you untap with it. It is possible, but most of the time, you're not going to win the same turn you untap with it, but your opponent is going to start to fall behind extremely fast, like very, very quickly. Invert was disgusting. This card, I wish I got to cast Invent more, but every time it was in my hand, I just cast it for the Invert, because I just did the mana or whatever. Invert is just absolutely nuts. That's really cool. So I feel like this is probably a card most VV enjoyers are not thinking about, but should probably think about this one. The Invert is nuts. It doesn't solve any of your issues, right? You still, this doesn't do anything unless you got back to your turn, right? It doesn't do anything. Some scenarios you could play it on turn 4 with your commander in the same turn cycle, and then play, like, with all the mana that you just now generated, you could play Swiftfoot Boots and then bloop, and then you could then safely pass the turn, or Mithril Coat, or whatever. So I guess there's a scenario where you could do that in the same turn you've cast it, but that still means you've cast this when you had 4 mana, not 3. This doesn't, even if you do that, it doesn't save you from your opponent casting a removal spell in response. So, you know, you have 4 mana, you cast this, you cast that, and then they have Doomblade, you lose the game. Swiftfoot Boots on turn 2, cast this on turn 3, you don't have the mana here to instantly move it, and they kill it, you lose the game. If you play this on turn 3, and this on turn 2, you were not leaving up counter spells. Excuse me, to turn 4 and turn 3. There's not a lot of windows to also leave out counter spells to interact with your opponent. So maybe you could drain yourself of the counter package, or like just take a huge hit chunk out of it and run more 1 mana interaction, like more lightning bolt effects, shock and all that, to interact with your opponent's early play, because your turn 2 is always gummed up on Swiftfoot Boots stuff, or your turn 3 or something. Even still, you play this on turn 4, you have Swiftfoot Boots in play already, you go to move the boots, they can still kill it, right? So now you need another protection spell. Everybody who is aware of how scary this can be is going to just never go shields down. There's not really an incentive to go shields down when your opponent is threatening to give this hexproof, right? Or just simply untapping with it. There's no reason to do that if you can help it. And basically every single deck in the game at this point can expectedly have something. Even the mono green players are going to have something to interact with you. So that you just have to be prepared. The entire strategy, the entire core of this is dependent on that. It just revolves around the removal of your opponent, your entire game plan, which is unfortunate. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I will say, when it does work, it's phenomenal. It's fun when it works. Assuming your opponent doesn't just instantly concede. Oh, that was it. I remember now. I would say the most successful strategy for this, beyond the Eldrazi, the artifact spam, the storming, the most successful one is probably some kind of deck that doesn't really involve VV directly. So actually Storm is probably a good one. I said it as it wasn't a second ago, but I think actually playing a Storm version or a combo version of this deck is probably your best bet. So you could play a storming kind of thing and you can build up to a storm turn, and in that storm turn is when you first cast it. That would also leave you with less junk in your deck. Junk, in my opinion, in your deck. So you could play things that help you set up the storm turn, and also get to the storm turn. So like more burn spells and more counter spells, and then more card draw, and you're just playing blue-red control with this storm thing you're trying to get to. Similar to what Ral would do, the furry Ral would do. Now, that one has the added benefit of you can just cast Ral, and there's plenty of times where they can't just kill it because it's not a creature. So, at the thing I'm describing, you're probably better off just playing Ral. Actually, even the other Ral, the one that copies your spell. Ral Zarek. It's probably just better to play that instead. Where is it? Oh no. What have I done? Come on. Why is nothing working? Why is nothing working? I thought we had Ral Zarek. Oh, I had colorless clicked. Okay, yeah, there's a mono red or mono blue Ral. What is it? Isn't there? I thought there was. Hold on. What am I thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking of this. Okay, it's still blue-red. Still blue-red. This is just a storm commander idea, right? Oh, no. It crashed. Oh, Marina crashed. Magic Arena crashed for a second. So yeah, you could play Ral Crackling Wit instead, based off what I was describing of having a build-up storm turn, while this plays into the storm build-up turn you're doing. Because you play it, and then it proliferates with all of your spells, and then it just does its thing. You can play it alongside your stuff. So this might actually just be better as a build-up to a storm turn. And this one doesn't need much explaining. You just copy your extra turn spells, and then you probably win. So, yeah. And, yeah, it's just... This doesn't work. That's it. It just doesn't work because it dies. There's so many awesome things it can do. You just have to front load the heck out of protecting it. You have to front load it like crazy. You can't just be like, oh, my opponent's tapped out. Huh! It's gonna die. It's gonna go back to your opponent, and it's gonna die. It's gonna die. There's a bunch of nice, peaceful stories of how cool things that this thing has done for people in chat today. And we saw that sometimes, but like you're not getting to that point reliably. So, all right, for the sake of not talking in loops, I shall be done. Let me know what you thought about it. I give it probably a 5 out of 10. It would be a 9, probably a 10 out of 10 in design, and probably a 9 out of 10 in terms of power level. But it's a 5 out of 10 because it's forced to accommodate your opponent's interaction across the board. There are no safe matchups. Probably better than 99. Yep. That's probably another thing to think about. It's just okay in the other blue-red Storm commanders as just a card in your deck and not in the command zone. And that's fine. That's totally fine. Not everything has to be a good commander or whatever. It is what it is. So, I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.